Hi, my name is Parag, and I will be presenting my UX project Vocabo. I will run you through the entire UX process, right from competitive analysis to creating low fidelity prototypes. Vocabo is an English vocabulary app that focuses on strengthening English vocab skills for non-native English speakers. To start the project, I need to first do a competitive analysis of existing apps in the market to know what exactly they are offering and what are their existing drawbacks. I analyzed three apps, and those are Vocab Jugaad, The Economist GRE Vocabulary, and the Vocab Builder. Vocab Jugaad aims to improve English of non-native English speakers using mnemonic and visual technique. The tagline in the splash screen is problematic as it uses native Hindi language written in English. The user also need to tap fetch word to download the words from the server every time it has to log in to use the app. There are few editorial issues in the app, and there are some redundant features such as quote of the day that does not relate to the purpose of the app. The GRE Vocabulary app is aimed at GRE students trying to increase their vocabulary. One of the most significant drawback is the sign up screen, which comes at the later stage when the user has already gone through a few words. There's also a conspicuous absence of an audio icon, which is essential to get the correct pronunciation of the new word. The Vocabulary Builder aims to improve the vocabulary of users who are preparing for competitive exams such as GRE SAT, GRE GMAT. Um, the default theme is dark and may not liked by the users. Also, the hamburger menu icon is not apparent, which may impact accessibility. Also, the navigation is a problem in this app, especially when the user plays a quiz game. That is, there is no way the user can go back to the home screen until the quiz is over. The next step is to create a proto persona. Meet Rahul Tyagi. He's a 33-year-old bachelor, a senior software developer in a multinational telecommunication company. He moved to Ireland from India in 2018 and is a non-native English speaker. He travels across client sites due to work assignments and also reads several English newspapers and magazines. So what is Rahul's needs and goals? Rahul should be able to learn new English words during his spare time between work and daily chores. He should be able to take notes with new words and phrases that can be used in daily conversation. He also wants to measure his progress on learning goals, and he wants to learn with an approach that makes it interesting rather than mundane. And he would like to make substantial improvement in English vocabulary in a year. So what is the core problem we are trying to solve here? I'm trying to solve a problem that helps a non-native English speaker like Rahul to strengthen his English vocabulary. So the problem statement would be Rahul needs an effective way to learn and retain new unfamiliar words that he hears, sees, and reads around his surroundings. The learning should align with his busy schedule since Rahul is also a working professional. So what are the challenges faced by Rahul? Rahul lives in Ireland among native English speakers. Rahul also works in a multinational company where he had to travel throughout the year in client sites. Rahul had to drastically improve his English knowledge to avoid any communication problem that may impact his daily activities. The app to be designed must be minimal but effective feature without overwhelming Rahul. Rahul says, I should be able to learn new words and phrases during the limited spare time I get. When I see an unfamiliar word or phrase in the outdoors, I should be able to capture the word instantly to know the meaning. When I hear an unfamiliar word during conversation, I should be able to know the meaning before I forget. Now, based on the challenges faced by Rahul and his requirements, I created two user flow. One for the primary task, that is to search the meaning of a word or a phrase, and the secondary task, that is to test knowledge on synonyms by playing a quiz. So for the primary task, if the user is logging to the app for the first time, he has to sign up either using the social network IDs such as Gmail or Facebook, or using a personal email ID to create an account. Once he creates an account, he logs into the home screen, and from the home screen, there are three ways to search the meaning of a word, either you entering the word in the search box or using audio, that is a voice prompt. The third option is using a camera. So if he's using audio, he needs to tap the microphone icon and utter the word. Once he gives the prompt, the application captures the word and provides the meaning. And if the user wants to know the meaning of a word mentioned in a specific place, he can place the app in front of the word, which captures the image and then provides suggestion. So if the suggestion is correct, the user taps the suggestion to know the meaning of the word. In the secondary task, the user wants to test knowledge on synonyms. So for doing that, he can simply tap the quiz tab in the application, which will redirect to the quiz page. The quiz page, there are multiple quiz options such as quiz of the day, antonyms quiz, synonyms quiz, meanings, and words. The user needs to tap the synonyms quiz, which will start the quiz, and the user has to answer the question until the quiz is complete. Once the quiz is complete, it will direct to the page when he can view the results and review the answers. Moving on, I moved to early prototyping using Crazy 8 and dot voting technique. So Crazy 8 and dot voting is a new approach for me, so I need to ideate within limited time frame. So I concentrated on the core features which I'm trying to accomplish. I use the dot voting to select the favorite screens which I would like to implement in my design. The next process was early wireframing. So I had two user flows. User flow 1, that is to search a word, and the second user flow is to play a synonym quiz. So for user flow 1, first the user had to sign up either using the social network IDs or creating a user using his email ID and password. So once the user logs into the home screen, in the home screen, the user gets to see the word of the day. But if he wants to search new word, either he can enter it in the search box or he can tap the microphone icon and utter the word loud so that the app can identify the word and provide the meaning. The user can also use the camera icon to capture a word and then provide a search results. For the user flow 2, the user has to go to the quiz screen and select the appropriate quiz. Here the user will select the synonym quiz. So once the user starts playing the quiz, it provides different option for a word for the user to select and then can go to the next screen until the quiz is complete. If the user don't want to continue, he can directly click on the skip quiz, which would redirect the user to the home screen. The next step was usability testing, and for this, I had earmarked three users to do usability testing on the initial wireframes. They are Prasad Vitadas, 30-year-old information architect, Vivian D'Souza, 20-year-old history student, and John Kogavin, 36-year-old writer. From the usability testing, there were some key observations. Although none of the user had an issue with the sign up process, but one of the user did not like the idea to use the social network ID such as Google or Facebook to log in. One user pointed out that if a application user hears a word, but the tool detects something else, and the user thinks the captured word by the application is the intended word, it could be incorrect. For example, I hear the word conquer, which is spelled as CONCUR, but tool captures concert, spelled as CONCERT, and provides the meaning accordingly. This could be misleading. Other user pointed out that the size of the audio icon was an issue for him. So suggestion was made to make this icon a bit bigger for clarity. The meaning of the word have words or phrases that should also be clickable to know their meaning. For example, the word opinion in the meaning of the word conquer should be clickable to know the meaning. Also, user was able to play the quiz without any problem, but they found it difficult to go back to the home screen once the quiz is complete. User couldn't also find a way to add favorites from the words that were appearing in the quiz. Also, one of the user was not at all aware of the star icon which is used to add as favorites. User also wanted to have an option wherein they can modify the meaning of the word in the favorite screen so that it can be easily remembered. So these were the key feedbacks that came from the usability testing. Based on the severity rating on the usability feedback, I made some minor edits on the wireframes, such as adding a progressive disclosure under the favorites icon. Also, I had added a home button at the end of the quiz screen to let the user go back to the home screen. Also, I have added the edit icon in the favorites screen so that the user can edit the meaning accordingly. I also added hyperlinks in the words that appear in the meaning of a word or a phrase. So what is next? So for further enhancement, I would like to add a feature that allows the user to know the meaning of a word or a phrase while reading newspaper or magazines from the app. Also, I would like to enhance the user interface to make it less cluttered and rework on the UI elements, especially the navigation. I'd also like to add an option to allow user to share the new findings with their contacts. So what did I learn? First, the pros. I got to experience the entire UX process from competitive analysis to wireframing for the first time. The rapid prototyping using Crazy 8 technique was a first time experience. Initially, it was a bit overwhelming, but then I realized it's an effective way to ideate new designs at the beginning of the UX process. Also, I got to know how the user react or interact with the application by doing moderated usability testing. And that was quite an insight because I got to interview the participants in person. Cons. Well, iterating wireframes for minor changes takes a substantial time. Also, there are certain tasks like user research and usability testing which requires dependency on the participants, and sometimes it does slows down the process based on the availability of the user. Also, you need to have multiple user assumption while designing the user flows because every user may do an action in different way. So therefore, you need to have think of multiple assumptions. So that was all in this presentation. I hope you liked my thinking process and also my app. Thank you.